Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Valen, and this is Vintage Story, Unearthed, on 119. I'm going to be starting a new Let's Play series, and here is where I just show you a brief glimpse as to some of the few changes that I've made. I'll be playing on Standard. I'm changing my dropped items to 20 minutes, changing microblock chiseling to most cubic blocks, changing land cover from 100% to 80%, and this will create a few oceans on occasion. And most importantly, I'm adding in a seed that is Mischief of Mice. With that set, I'm going to apply my changes, create the world. And here we are on the character customization screen, but instead I'm going to set it to my standard player. There are lots of classes to choose from, and many people choose commoner, but I personally prefer the hunter, which means I'll have a little more ranged accuracy and damage, plus a little bit more distance. I'll be a little bit more resourceful with my animal harvesting, I'll be a little bit faster than most of them, and I get to craft a crude bow early on. Problem is, I do a little bit less with my melee damage, and I'm not such a good miner, but we'll deal with that. And there we have it. Welcome to the wonderful glory that is Vintage Story. To start off with, I'm actually going to kind of remove one of the items here, and that's going to be my hunter face mask. It's just something that I find a little bit strange. My hunter hood doesn't actually give me any protection at all. So that one is definitely something I'm probably going to just get rid of eventually. But my hunter face mask can keep me warm in the winter if properly worn or kept in, appropriate shape. This way you can at least see my face and one of the new beards that have recently been added to the game. With this being 119, a lot of the map has changed. There's a lot of changes that have happened from 118, but yeah, we're pretty much going to be going through a lot of it as I kind of wander around. If you notice in the top left corner up here it says need help figuring out the game, hold K to open the introductions menu, hold L to discard this tip. And surprise, surprise, I'm actually going to go through with that introduction. So we're going to open up the introductions menu by holding the K key. It says here at any time press H to access the handbook, which is extremely important for playing this game if you haven't before. It is like your lifeblood and really important in order to progress. It provides guides, tutorials, and details over all items in the game. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to find some of those details as the items are being input into it, but other times it's really consistent and really nice. But if you're new to the genre, we recommend launching the First Steps tutorial. Now the First Steps tutorial is something that will kind of help you out here. You can actually open it up just by pressing the H key and looking up tutorials. There's only these right now, but if you open the H key, you can see here and just click there. Anytime you want, you can just press H and you can actually stop the tutorial again. So that's not really anything to worry too much about. But if you do want to search for other stuff, you can go to the Everything, Guides, Blocks, Items tabs, and you can just type in something in here, and you can see all the different things that there are to look for. Now in this case, it's telling me that I need to walk around with the different WSAD keys, then I need to use space to jump, shift to sneak, and control and W to sprint. Yeah, basic movement controls, and I do have a couple mods in here. Actually, that is it. There's 2 mods that I'm currently using, one of which is actually allows me to step up things. And it's not like a Minecraft step up where it's just instantaneous. There is a slight delay to it, but it does allow me to just walk up 1 block steps, which I think is fabulous. It is a client-side mod, so you can use this on servers if you so want to. The other one is Zoom, which allows me to just kind of get a little bit of a look, see, like focusing in on something, like what is that over there? Can I see quite what it is? It's a berry bush. Thank goodness it's not a bear or a wolf. Now I already have some macros set up on here, and I will be using those. If you want to know how to make some macros, I could actually include that in either the Let's Play or in a bit by bit. Just let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, by using this, I've automatically created a waypoint, and I'm going to just make this known to be the spawn area. I'm going to put a big star, I'm going to make it purple, and I'm also going to pin it so that I know where the spawn is at all times. That means if this goes off my map, that it will still stay on the edges of the map itself, regardless of it being gone and away. Alright, so hold Alt to release your mouse cursor. With this you can click on links, which it wants me to click here to continue. Then it says use E to open your inventory and C to go to your character inventory. So let's open inventory, and you get your own little crafting grid right now, and this is your output for anything that you put in here. In the future, you might also be able to have some storage, and then this will expand further into this area. The C key is what I showed you earlier, where my character's in here. You can actually grab your character and drag them around a little bit, just so you can see the different angles of how they look if you so want to. But more importantly, we've got the environment as well, which tells you a lot about what's going on out there. And this is actually really important, especially when you look at rift activity and things of that nature. That's kind of like dangerous stuff. Same thing with this little cogwheel in the middle here. You want this to stay bright green at all times, if at all possible. If it does start getting a brownish color, or too much of it is brown, bad things will happen. Just know that. You've got your fruit nutrition, or food nutrition here, which consists of different types of foods that you've eaten. The green bar represents your food and hunger. The red bar represents your health and how long you have before you die. Those are also just kind of transposed into numbers here on the left. Now, as I am a hunter, I have a little bit faster walk speed, and any kind of like armored type items may adjust a lot of these percentages. But my ranged accuracy is 130% because I'm also a trained hunter. But let's see if we can find some nappable stones out on the ground. This here looks like limestone. This is one of the benefits of having this seed, Mischief of Mice. This is a pigment. It is also used in making different kinds of building blocks. It's also used in making some different kinds of leather processing materials, and it's also a pretty hard stone and can be used for napping. So that's a fantastic start of a biome. The only problem with this area that I am currently finding, let me just kind of go down here in the water and grab these stones. I'm just right clicking right now to pick these up, and I've got a few of them, just not very many. But I might have enough that I can start napping this. Let's actually go over here. Oh, I was wrong. I can't nap limestone. Okay, well, it's still extremely useful stones. And something that I will probably have to look around for is going to be flint instead, which then it'll look like this, but one of the small stones that are in this display are going to be consisting of flint. This is an example of lead ore bits, something that's not quite as useful. Maybe later on it'd be nice. So I'll put something on my waypoint here. I'm actually going to make it blue and just call it lead. Put a little pickaxe and done. Now, while I'm walking around, there are other things to make note of. These are cattails, and then there's some other similar type grasses over there. But the cattails are primarily what I'm going to need because I'm in a regular temperate zone. On top of that, these are some fruit bushes. There's berries on there. This is going to be my early game food to start with while I'm looking around for some stones. Ooh, now this is actually a pretty good thing for not too far in the future, and that's going to be brown coal bits that I found on the ground. Still looking for some flint, but this seed, I am also very aware, has some problems with trying to find a ready source of flint and or grasses. There we go, I now have brown coal marked on my map. And look at this, a few more berry bushes. Now, I could just take these berry bushes with me, and then during the next available time that they would flower... Oh, there's a ruin. I could just replant them there. As this is right next to the spawn area, I like to have a few just berry bushes nearby, should I absolutely need those when I'm first starting off. Now, sometimes with a ruin, you might get lucky, and just outside in plain view, you might find some, like, loot laying around here, but I don't even have any tools yet, so not quite as fortunate as I might have hoped. Aha! This is what I've been looking for. Loose flint. You notice that it looks like there's a little bit of limestone here, a little bit of flint here, or a grayish stone. That is what I'm looking for. I got 2 pieces, thank goodness. That means that I have enough that I can start with. In fact, is that more? Nope, that's just more lead laying around here. Ugh. Here we go. There is another one. I found enough that I should be able to start napping these stones and making some basic tools. It says find 5 sticks though, because most tools aren't just going to be a napped piece of stone. It will need to, in fact, have something attached to it. So I'm going to go over to these trees along the way. I'm going to be looking for other stones that I might find that might have a little bit of, hopefully, some flint in it. Yep, I just got a little bit more right there. Alright, so you notice there's some big trees over there, and when I look at the big map here, it looks like this is kind of like a forested area. Forests are very dangerous. You go into there, you're going to find a lot of animals, usually wolves and or bears. Doesn't mean that they're only going to be in there, but they're at a much higher population and much more likely to be in there. So you can find sticks on trees, but also you can find sticks in areas nearby. Now this is just regular leaves, you're not going to find anything in. But sometimes underneath or contained close to the wood that is growing down the center of the tree, you'll find some branchy leaves, which gets you some sticks. Just break a bunch of these bushes nearby, and hopefully I'll have enough sticks that I can get myself started. There we go, I now have enough sticks in order to continue going. I might as well grab a couple more while I'm at it, because sticks are going to be something you're going to need a lot of, and quite often. But it says, you're a natural. Use 2 stones to create a knife blade with the knapping system. Shift and right-click on the ground with a knappable stone in hands to begin. Then shift right-click again with the second stone. Choose the knife blade shape and tap it out. Now in this case, you can scroll across to see the different types that we have available. I'm going for a knife blade, and we're just going to kind of chip that through. You don't have to actually chip every last piece. You just need to break away the bits that are attached to the tool part that you want. The rest of it's going to be discarded. The knife blade still needs a handle. Open your inventory with E to craft a knife in your 3x3 crafting grid. Use the handbook, open with H, to look up the recipe. Now in this case, I already know what it is, and it's just a knife with a stick, or a knife blade with a stick, and I now have a flint knife. I can close that, and it says, welcome to the Stone Age. With your knife in hands, hold the left mouse key to harvest 10 reeds or papyrus from cattails or papyrus. So that's going to be a little bit of a journey to try and find a bunch of those laying around. But I now have a very simple weapon, which if you look, it does 1 hit point of damage. And you can stab anything nearby with it. It's not like you're going to do a lot of damage with it, and it's unlikely you're going to kill anything with just 1 hit. In fact, it'll probably take a lot, because the creatures around here are usually quite durable in comparison. So I'm getting a little bit hungry, a little peckish, so I'm just going to have a little nom while I'm looking around. And you see here we've got some tool. This is just a useful plant, but it's not the one I'm looking for. I want those cattails, because I'm starting off in the default area. It's usually quite a chilly area, or at least kind of like cool in most cases. And cattails are going to be more common than others. Oh, what's that? Cattails. Yes, there is a swimming mechanic, and you can see my character is just kind of swimming around, doing a run. It's kind of fun, actually. I do enjoy the swimming in this. There are some areas when you're in warmer areas, like very far south, many thousands of blocks south. You might even be able to find some glowing algae in the water that leaves little glowing trails as you swim through it. It's really, really lovely. But let's give this a slice. And here's the thing. I just got 1 cattail from that, or 1 fistful of cattails. If I were to continue breaking this, then I actually get an edible, plantable item. It's non-renewable, a cattail root. If I plant this, whether it be in water, in 1 block of water, or on most soil, like I can plant this over here on the grass, or on the sand, or at least I thought I could. Do I need to sneak right-click? Yeah, there we go. It will eventually grow again in this area. You can plant it on like soil or other areas. I don't think you can plant it on stone, though. It will need a little something for it to grow on. But you can take these with you, and you can plant them near your own home base, which might actually be somewhat beneficial, but right now my inventory space is at a premium, so I'm only going for what I really need, not what I would like to have. There we go, it says that I have enough. Storage time. Using 10 reeds or papyrus, craft a basket. To equip it, place it in one of the 4 special slots in the right of your inventory. Ultimately, you'll probably want to have 4 of them. So let's see, 10 of these in kind of a U shape, because I already am familiar with the recipe. If I didn't know it, it said to look up a basket. I could press H and then look up basket, and you see we've got hand basket and a reed basket trap. Handbasket is made as such, ingredients for this, and yeah, that's pretty much it. If you look though, it says ingredient 4. That means that this can be converted into cattails. So when I click on cattails, it says you take a knife and the handbasket, and you can get back some of the cattails from it. About half of them is what it looks like. Regardless, I now have a handbasket, and I am putting this down here. And I now have expanded, you notice I have 3 extra inventory slots, my inventory to be able to carry a few more items. So I'm just going to drag those off my inventory for now and just go with that. Now, if you are looking for some weaponry to start with, there's many different ways you can go. For starters, I'm going to actually cut a few more of these cattails just to get myself more baskets, because that's just really important to me to have some inventory space. But if you want some early game weapons, you actually can pick up any of the stones and throw them. They will skip on water, but you can throw them at enemies and they'll do like a tiny bit of damage. So as you go and you're picking up stones and stuff, you can do that. Just know that any stones that you find on the surface means that that's a representation of something that is not far below the surface of where you are. So if you pick this up, you might lose track that there was something there. That is why I'm constantly marking things on my map to let people know, to let myself know that there's a very important resource below the surface. Oh, I've hit the jackpot with a bunch of flint over here. This is great. A few more berries. Yes, I think that was actually the next thing. Try and find some food. But it's time to invent fire. Craft an axe. Use 2 knappable stones to make an axe head. Then craft an axe from the axe head combined with a stick. Now, here's another good thing for a little bit more offense, I guess, than a knife would be an axe head. But more importantly, you're going to need it so you can make yourself some fire. Alright, then to take that, plus a stick, and get myself 1 flint axe. With your axe in hands, chop down a small tree by holding the left mouse button. Chop the base of the tree and eventually the whole tree will fall. Collect 4 logs is what it's looking for. So it said small tree, and that's a good reason for that, because this is just a flint axe. Something too big will destroy the entire axe before you're able to chop the entire thing down. So keep that in mind when you're trying to find a tree. Now this is only 3 blocks. Oh, look, there's a sea star. Okay. Okay. Well, that's really pretty as well. Oh no, this is another problem, is that sometimes you run out of space. So I'm going to put this here. Actually, yeah, right here. And then I'm going to put a marker. And I'm saving that as sea star so that I can find it again in the future. That way when I've got enough space in inventory, I can actually do something. But I'm losing light fast. Oh dear. Okay, so I need to chop this tree down fast. There we go, I got a couple sticks from that. You're not going to get as many as if you had broken all the grass by hand, but at least I got 3 of the 4 logs I'm looking for. So this tree doesn't look too bad. I think I can chop that without losing my entire axe, so I'm going to go for that one next. And there we go, 1 less tree to worry about. I got myself a whole bunch of logs there. What I'm going to do, just so that I don't have 2 types of logs clogging up my inventory, is I'm going to take a flint axe above birch logs to make firewood, as it is asking me to do there. Pow. I now have 12 firewood to work with. Now it says I'm going to need a tinder. With your knife in hands, cut some grass to collect 3 dry grass. It's pretty simple because there's grass just about everywhere around here. Then it says, with it in hand, hold shift while aiming at the ground to place the tinder for your fire pit. Now, there is a little problem with that, is if it starts raining and I make a fire pit out in the open, it could get put out very quick and easy. I am kind of thinking maybe I could take a little bit of shelter over here for the night? Up against a wall or something? I don't know. Maybe I'll do a quick reconnaissance and see if I can find something a little bit more doable. Okay, so it's not exactly the best, but it looks like it'll work. It's going to be visible. It's underneath a little bit of a ledge, and would you look at this? There's a loose rusty gear. This is actually currency in the game for when dealing with traders. But for now, I think I'm just going to be using this for a little bit of fire. So if I right-click while sneaking here with the grass, add 4 firewood from my 4 firewood to add into the fire pit. And it's done. Now when I right click on it, it shows an inventory. You can even take these out and it now looks like an empty fire, but I think I'm going to keep those in there for the moment. I need to craft a fire starter, which I click on here will tell me the recipe for it, which is 1 grass plus a couple sticks. There we go, 1 fire starter is already set. And I'm kind of running out of space. So what I can do here is temporarily leave this in my inventory crafting grid and start sneak right clicking to world place my firewood that I'm not using. Or I could just put it all in the fire pit just to save myself a little bit of space there. But for now, I've got my fire starter, and if I sneak right click, I will start trying to light the fire. Oh, and then we have it. We've got a little bit of light and heat. This is great. And if you're not using your fire starter, again, you can sneak, control, right click to ground place things that lean up against stuff. And that's going to be pretty important as well, because if I don't want the axe, I can do the same thing. It's a lot easier than kind of using the space that you have in your inventory. And if you really want to go the extra mile, you could even take a few sticks and make yourself a tool rack, put it on the wall, and that's 4 spaces on the wall that are storable. Now, in my case, though, I don't think I want to do that just yet. Now it says you've discovered fire. Use it to create torches. So then we're going to want to craft a torch next, which is 2 more grass and a stick. Well, that means that I need a little bit more grass. I don't actually have any here. Oh wait, I have 1 more. That's great news. Is that I have 2 pieces now, so I can actually craft the 2 that I need. As you can see, sticks are kind of important for a lot of stuff. You can then take this and put it in the fire, or you can try lighting it from the fire, which I was sneak right clicking there and it lit the torch just like that. Oh, already I've got trouble. Those are drifters. Those are bad guys that show up at nighttime. Currently it is a medium rift activity, which is not a good thing. And if I run through water with this torch, it will get put out, and I don't want that to happen. Another bad thing, they have my my axe on them. So let me hold this in my offhand. Maybe I can hold them at bay, or just kind of run away. There's a lot of them, and I don't want to land in the water and put my torch out. So, as I'm hungry, I'm going to eat some food as I ran away from my own fire pit. It's not a easy or good spot to get to, and I think because of the overhang, those guys were more prone to spawning there. They spawn underground in dark light conditions. Dark or no lighting conditions, I should say. Yeah, I hear them, but I'm not about to run through that water either. So what are drifters? And don't worry, you can walk through 1 block deep water, just don't sneak in it or else you'll put your torch out. Drifters are just one of the main mobs in the world here. Those were surface drifters we saw. They're rather weak, but in my current state, I am very weak, so not the best timing for it. I don't see any rifts nearby. Oh, and in fact, I see a light. Maybe we can get a little help from somebody that is near here. Oh, would you look at this? I might grab a little bit of this for some food and seeds. These are turnips. They're completely mature, which means if you look at the top there, it says growth stage is 5 out of 5. If any of the crops that you find out in the world are out there, you might be able to get a seed from them and not just the food. And as you notice here, I got 4 seeds from that, which is absolutely wonderful. But only if they're at a high enough growth stage. If they haven't grown enough, then they might not drop the seed. And usually it's the last 3 growth stages that can be of help. Now this is looking promising. Let's see what this guy here has to say. Yearn, the agricultural trader. Hello, Yearn. Oh boy, you're very talkative. Oh, and you've got yourself a resonator. Oh, that's lovely. They also have different stuff here. Most of it is protected. If you get out the way, you can actually access their chests and use them for temporary storage if you really want to go nuts. And at nighttime, it's kind of a safer place to be. Not always, but sometimes. So let's see. Welcome back, Valen. What can I do for you? Do you got anything to trade? Or you can ask them why gears is the currency. Why do you live out here like this? I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to let you guys explore for yourselves as to what you might be interested in. But as you can see, the different foods that we can buy from them. Blue cheese, nice. Rye bread, and so on. Kapok seeds. I didn't even grab that one gear that I had over there. But look, price 1 gear. I could have bought some parchment. 2 gears, 12, 8. Boy, some of these are really expensive. Yeah, if I was really desperate for food, I could have bought a few blueberries as well. But then there's also a list on the right side that tells you the different things that this vendor can purchase. And they'll purchase up to 28 gears worth of stuff if you have any of these items. Now, you might think, oh, look, there's aged crates there. There's an aged crate there. Remember, this is all, like, protected. You can't really take any of this stuff. You can try, but it's not going to let you. As I've actually properly finished the tutorial, I just didn't get a chance to put the torch in it. I sneaked instead. I'm going to click to stop the tutorial for now. I can always come back to that later, but it's more or less gotten us on the road to survival. And yes, I'm going to eat more food because the higher that this bar is green, or the fuller that is, I'm gonna walk outside. You're very loud. The faster you're going to heal on the left. So that's something that you might want to take into account. And there's better ways of preparing food so that it can be more nutritious. But for now, I think I'm just going to eat what I can when I can. Because again, I don't have much inventory space. And looking at the map, I might be able to find a few more like bits and pieces over here. But I think I'm going to stay away from where I put that fire pit. That was kind of a mistake, having it underneath a rock ledge that obviously was counting as a cave, and a danger zone for drifters. So by holding on to something in my offhand, not everything will actually work in my offhand, but you'll notice that my hunger rate has increased to 120%. So it might actually benefit you to put it in a regular hand so that you can, or your main hand as it is, so that you don't need to, well, have that hunger rate increase while you're walking around, especially early on before you end up having any kind of good food situation. Now, as you're wandering around, you're going to want to be rather careful about where you go and what you do, because you might also end up running into some problems, and that could be a large gaping hole in the ground, bears, wolves, drifters. There's a lot of different creatures and things that you could have a problem with. So sometimes running is good, sometimes you have to, other times not so much. And here I've found some blue clay in soil, which is going to be really useful in the future, in the not too distant future as well. It'll be used for making different storage containers, tool molds, and all manner of different stuff. For now though, I'm just marking it on my map, so I can come back to it later while I'm looking for, hopefully, to find a few more... Oh, gosh, no, go away. A few more of those cattails so that I can make myself a bit more storage. So how does one make a bit of armor? Well, it's what I call swamp armor, but it's improvised body armor. You're going to need a little bit of grass, a little bit of firewood, and a knife. So let me gather up all these materials, and then I can make that and have at least a little bit more protection than I had before. Alright, so with a bunch of grass and some firewood, that knife, I then can make improvised body armor, which is going to be lovely. Early on, it looks kind of meh, and it only can take a few hits, and it might have 75 durability, but honestly, the creatures that hit you can do more durability damage than one at a time. So that's definitely something to be aware of. Oh, more flint. Excellent. Okay, I've found a little bit of horsetail. I'm injured. This is a good sign that I might be able to salvage something. Now, yes, I could spend the cattails on a little bit of... what is it? Oh, shoot, that's not a good sound. That sounds like a rift has opened nearby. I need to move away. I will show you this in a moment. Oh! Oh! Elfin saddle. Is this an edible? Well, of course they're all edible. Is this a good mushroom to eat? No, it's not. If you look, it says when eaten, -7 hit points. Elfin saddle's bad. Alright, so what I'm looking to make here is actually horsetail poultice, which requires 4 horsetail and 2 cattails. So if I take this and I put it on a bed of cattail, I can then make myself a little bit of some healing, not using up too much of my cattails. Now, it may affect if how much it heals depending on the armor that you're wearing, but this stuff doesn't actually have any negatives. It just gives you a tiny bit of protection. So just by using this with a right click, I then can heal some hit points on my health bar there. Oh, so much better. And I'm gonna hold on. No, I'm just gonna use it. I'm just gonna use it. I don't have much space in my inventory. I might as well do it now. You can actually do that to stave off the effects of hunger if you really need to, but yeah, I'm still gonna just look around for more cattails. Oh, hey, look at this. Leaking pine log with resin. This is really important later on. A lot of things will use resin. I'd love to harvest it now, but I don't think that I have the means to actually make use of it. So without that extra inventory space, thus I need cattails, I'm just going to make a little orange tree here and call it resin. Then I know where to find that again if I need to come back in the future. If you break this log or chop down this tree, it's gone and it doesn't grow back. You cannot grow trees with resin on it. They have to be existing in the world already. Alright, so I think it stopped raining, so I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to put down an unlit torch, and I'm going to try lighting it with my lit torch. Hopefully, there we go, and light, and now I have 2 torches. Now, something of note, you can actually throw a torch, it will generate light where it is, so you can throw these down long pits or something like that to see ahead of you, or if you just want to toss them out for some reason, maybe there's a protected area you can't actually place anything in, you can still throw a light source on the ground. Not that I'm going to remember that when I need to later on, but hey, here we are, having survived the first night, just kind of running around away from all the drifters, looking for cattails and not being able to find a single one. This is the disadvantage of trying to find anything while looking at night without being able to see it better. But I think what I need to do is actually make myself a little something to get some food. I am a hunter, and I should be able to use this to make a spear. Taking a spear head and a stick, I then get myself a flint spear. I think, in fact, I'm going to make 2 because it's just going to be useful. If I had enough space in my inventory for several, I would definitely carry those because then I might actually be able to survive a wolf attack if surprised. As it is right now, I think I'm probably just going to end up running away if that's even an option. Now I did see a rabbit go in this direction, and I noticed that my hunger bar is getting really low. I'm hoping, well, there it is over there, that I might be able to hit the rabbit. Let's see. Oh, so close. Oh, I missed both times. Okay, that's not a good sign. Let's see if I can catch my spears, which then went all the way over here. They bounced off the water because of the reflection of it. Oh. And this is where you can get into a lot of danger, is I'm chasing it into the forest, where there may be wolves and or bears. Okay, I'm going for Old Reliable. That's where I jump in the water, and I stab it because I'm faster in the water than it is. Okay, well that worked. Now, if I am sneaking or in 2 block deep water or more, while I scroll down my hotbar to past my torch, I could have put it out. So that's something you want to be careful about. But by hitting sneak and right click with a knife, I should be able to harvest this rabbit. And there we go. It doesn't have a ton of stuff, but at least it has some red meat on it. Uh-oh, I'm out of space. Well, it looks like this hunter hood is gone. Hey, that time I actually got one. Alright, that's much better. And yes, you might need to sneak right-click while underwater. It's a bit awkward, but it does work. Now you can break the corpses and get a bone, then you can use that in place of a stick for an even sturdier, like, axe or similar. But I don't, again, have enough inventory space. Oh, hey! Hey, this is good. Deer ear. I actually know that these should be pretty edible, and sometimes they're on multiple areas in this one spot, but let's see. If I pick this up, Yes, that is very good. I'm going to eat that right now. I will pick the seeds up in a second once I've eaten something. There we go. All right, that's to stave off the little bit of hunger that I'm getting right now. Also found some field mushrooms here, which could be good. Yes, it is. Also, another little bit to sustain me a little bit longer. Oh, and there's some more. Alright, there we go. Busting out a few bushes. Back to where I was before. I can actually get over here and open up this inventory and perhaps even make myself... let's just throw those out momentarily. Put some wood in there so that I can cook some of the food that I have. In fact, I'm pretty sure it'll take several just so that I can get that going. Now, I could use the fire starter, but instead I'm going to use the torch by sneak right-clicking. You'll start seeing some particles, and then the fire will light, and you'll start seeing the temperature increase. Now, it tells you how long it's fresh for, how long it takes for it to cook, you know, at 150 degrees and so on, and it can keep on cooking even after you take this out. You notice the temperature is still going up, and even after this expires, the temperature will slowly drop down. So you can save yourself quite a bit of fuel if you're able to manage that. In the meantime, though, you get to see this really cool display of the food cooking on top. And yeah, I realize that I'm back here in danger zone, so I'm just going to be taking what I can and probably heading out from here. Oh, there we go, our first piece of cooked red meat. Oh, and that should keep me sustained for at least a little bit longer. There we go. That's going to do it for that one there. And I think this is actually a good spot for me to kind of like stop, take a look around, see what there is, and actually have a little bit of a nibble. And if you guys are enjoying this and would like to see more of this series, please be sure to give a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, be sure to come visit us on Twitch, where we stream regularly, including our own server that we have of Vintage Story, where we've got a bunch more mods that we're messing with and are playing with our supporters on there live on Twitch. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.